what makes Heights Title different from other title companies in town?
Well, we are locally owned, family owned, and attorney owned. So those three things, yes, those three things make us very special and unique. And we have 2 convenient locations, one in Naples and one in Estero. And you know, having an attorney owning the title company brings such advantage for the realtor and the buyer and sellers.
Definitely.
In addition, Jed Law is our sister law firm. So if there's an event that requires maybe some litigation or probate or an escrow dispute, we don't have to put the brakes on and go find a lawyer.
Right.
We have it basically in-house.
That's good. That's actually a really good thing. It cuts a little bit of time out of that process too, if you do have to.
Certainly.
So how often, as an attorney, do you have to get involved in a deal hearing?
Well, it depends on the customer. Okay. Some people, if you come from an attorney state, like I was trained in Massachusetts, they know nothing but attorney review. In some jurisdictions, there's a mandatory attorney review period. Yes. New Jersey comes to mind, where they have a 3-day attorney review period. So depending on the customer, I can be involved on the front end a lot. If there is an issue that goes awry, say a defect or repair issue, and there's combating either positions with regard to what the responsibility is of the seller, I interpret the contract and help assist in moving the ball forward, correct, and explain the legalities that if it doesn't get done, these are the ramifications pursuant to the contract.
I think it is New Jersey. I have a lot of clients from New Jersey, and it is an attorney-driven state, so it's very interesting. They're always like, you know, in New Jersey, we always have an attorney involved, so they're just not used to this down here where you don't necessarily have to have an attorney involved. It's really a choice, but it is nice that you guys can offer that. And I think it's New York City or New York, where the attorney actually does the negotiating. So you have to wait.
Really?
Yes, it's not the realtor. The attorney writes the contract. But the only issue with that is you have to wait for attorneys to go back and forth, and there's been issues with losing out on properties while those 2 parties are going back and forth. So that's the only issue there. But it is pretty interesting how all the states are so different.
They are.
You know?
And here we do have an attorney review addendum.
Right.
That's rarely used.
I know.
So when I see it, it's refreshing, because now I know that we can terminate the contract or further negotiate it if necessary.
Yes. And yes, that is a good, because a lot of times we use an as-is contract for the most part, the neighbor as-is, we like to use that one. But so you can have a review period within that time frame of you can get out, but you can't necessarily renegotiate the contract at that point.
Correct.
So when Hurricane Irma came through, an exciting time frame, a lot of communities held special assessments. How have you guys handled it? I know the last closing that we did with you guys was the Glades, which I think we're still waiting on the numbers to come in from that special assessment. So if you could talk a little bit about that, and hopefully we don't have any more Irmas. But
most of the damage from Irma, thankfully, was roof damage only. So the latent defects in the roofs may not have been discovered until some point later on. But if you're in a closing and that assessment, special assessment as it's called in the statute, was voted on prior to entering into the contract, it becomes the seller's responsibility, and we collect it and pay it.
Okay.
If it's voted on after, it's talked about, but it's not official, it becomes the buyer's responsibility. And then there could be further negotiations.
Right.
Share costs, maybe the association doesn't have a definitive number, maybe they have enough in reserve to where there'd be no assessment. So, and we've also held escrow for situations where it's Irma related. Insurance doesn't cover it because of the deductible amount or whatever the case may be, and we'll hold it in escrow until the repairs are done.
Okay.
And both parties must then authorize this person at that point.
So is there a time frame on how long you'll hold that?
It depends on the nature of the repair. We've held it up to 6 months. We typically don't like it to linger longer than that because it's money in our escrow account. We like it to be dispersed to the rightful parties.
Right. Yeah, I can understand that. So one of the big topics, and I always am getting emails even from my real estate company, is wire fraud currently going on, which isn't a fun situation. I always tell my clients, you will never receive an email asking, giving you instructions from me on how to do it. But how have you guys handled it? Because obviously you do need to get instructions to clients, and it has become a bigger and bigger issue. I know there's been a couple cases in Collier County in the last couple months where people have been affected here. So
we had unfortunately had somebody, one of our customers was affected by it and lost a significant amount of money because of fraudsters, hacksters. They're watching your emails.
Yes.
Especially if you have an unsecured email, a Gmail, a Yahoo account. Okay. They're able to watch that email exchange. And when wire instructions are requested, they all of a sudden intercept them, create their own wire instructions that may look like it's coming from you, falsify the email, and then send it off, and the wires are then sent out without verification to some unknown account.
Nice.
And it's gone as soon as it hits it.
Yes.
So recovering that is unlikely, and it's $1 billion industry right now across the country. So what we do is our processors verify by phone.
Okay.
And we instruct in our emails, please do not wire money until we verify your wiring instructions. Then the second tier is when the wire actually gets sent, the sender, whether it be myself, my brother, who's the controller, we verify them yet again.
Okay.
So we eliminate that threat.
Okay.
And you're smart in telling your clients that do not send wires if it looks like it's coming from me.
Right.
I will not send you wire instructions.
Yes, I will never send you wire instructions.
Yes.
Because there's just so much liability involved in it. And I always tell them to call them and make sure you have the correct information before sending it, because it's scary. I mean, for a lot of people, this is their biggest purchase.
Absolutely.
And it's a lot of money. We have a lot of cash buyers down here too. So it can be a significant portion.
The latest is mortgage payoff fraud. So what's happening is they're intercepting, they know a transaction is occurring, they're creating a mortgage payoff letter. They can tell from the public records who the lender is, and we'll get something that looks like it's from Wells Fargo, say, and it's totally fraudulent. And so you go ahead and conduct your closing and send the mortgage payoff to what you believe is Wells Fargo, when in fact it's the other end of the scam.
Wow.
And
That's
so,
really
and
scary.
payoffs can be substantial.
Yes, definitely.
So that's the new and latest.
Wow.
So beware of that as well.
Criminals are getting smarter and
Yes.
smarter.
I know, it's awful.
It is.
It's a shame.
It's just like, and on what should be one of the happiest days, can definitely, if you're not careful, you just always have to be watching for sure. So, well, thank you guys so much for taking the time.
Thank you, guys.
I, for
Yes.
one, am looking forward to 2019. I can't wait to have more closings with you guys, and
Thank
it
you.
should be an awesome year.
Thank you.
So, thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.